Hello and welcome back to the Planet Film Network. I am one of your hosts, Sean Monk,
And I'm your other host, TJ Cornwell.
and welcome back to another installment of Planet Hero. So today, I will say right off the bat, if you're looking for our last episode of Planet Hero, episode 14, it was copyright claimed by Disney, then it wasn't, then I edited it down to clear it, then I edited it again, and then it was reclaimed, but now apparently it's back up on the channel.
Yeah,
So,
I never told you I went back in and did it again.
oh,
So I
okay.
guess it took. I
It
don't
it
know.
took that time. Okay,
Yeah.
there we go. So now it is back up on the channel, so you can get a slightly edited down version of it on the video feed, but you can get the full audio conversation on the audio platforms that we post on the podcast feed. So check out that if you are looking for last episode of Planet Hero. But yeah, without further ado, today is the big day. Today is the 15th episode of Planet Hero, our review of episode 6, man, of Falcon and Winter
Wow.
Soldier.
Episode 6.
I feel like we were just reviewing episode 1 of WandaVision.
I know. Ugh. I miss
These shows,
WandaVision.
man. Well, we know. No. I'm just kidding. All right, so let's just dive right into this. What were your overall thoughts on? Let's start with the season as a whole.
The season I thought was very good. Again, if I were to rank the shows, WandaVision 1, Falcon Winter Soldier 2.
So you hated it.
I didn't hate it, no. I liked the I mean, it's not really politics. It's really just like human rights, the civil rights aspect they brought in. Um, Obviously with Isaiah and Sam and their relationship. I liked Bucky's kind of forgiving and throughout kind of talking to different people with the therapist, the whole buddy cop thing. I also loved. And then the introduction of new characters, John Walker. Obviously, the whole Lamar thing, I was like, I wish I got more of Lamar
Mm-hmm.
in the show, or in the greater MCU as a whole. But we didn't. I like the introduction of Julie Louis-Dreyfus and that whole storyline and where that can go. And I liked Zemo as well. I really liked getting to know Zemo more. I can't wait to see him more in the MCU. They
So you
definitely did
think he'll
just
be
kind of
back?
like, yeah, he'll be back. They definitely just kind of shut his character down though, like at episode 5. They're like,
Yeah.
all right, we need to, focus on some other
Mm-hmm.
things.
Yeah. He gets a
Um,
tiny bit of play in the finale, but that's pretty much it.
very
Yeah.
small. And I liked that they brought Sharon back, but I did not like what they did with her.
Mm-hmm. Which we'll
Um,
talk about because I have a theory
which we'll
on that.
talk about. But yeah, that's where I'm at. I overall it was a very good season.
Mm-hmm. Boom. Yeah, I would say overall it was a very good season as well. I would rank probably WandaVision first, then this, because I hated this obviously. No, I'm just kidding. No, yeah, not to say that it's any, not to say that it's bad or anything. It's just it's a different vibe. It was kind of a slower tone throughout.
Mhm.
Like we were kind of like, oh, episode 1, it really lets you kind of take your time and slow down and be with
Right.
these characters. But then you kind of realize it's kind of the whole show is a
Hmm.
lot of it is character development, which is not a complaint by any means, but I understand why things like, TJ said just before we started recording that the finale has like a 58% or 59% on Rotten Tomatoes. Like I can understand why some people would be more disappointed than others because if they were just expecting more action or just their expectations in general. I mean, we always say this about
Yeah.
movies, TV shows, everything is the expectations are the killer. Or just to me, bring nothing into it and be happy with what you get, or not be happy with what you get. I just mean bring nothing into it and then form your opinion based on whatever you
Hmm.
get. Um, but for me, I would say, I love the dynamic, seeing the dynamic change and evolve between Sam and Bucky. Seeing, Bucky's kind of personal journey of coming out with, um, kind of letting his Winter Soldier persona drift away and actually finally coming out of the shadow of it. I think was really, really good to watch. And then obviously everything with Sam's journey of where he ends up. Um, I just think it was a great show for these two characters. I think, honestly, I think it could have been a movie. I think it could have been a little more pared down.
Yeah.
Um,
I
I, I
think they nailed like the Sam story. Um, but this shot during didn't this shoot during COVID?
yeah.
So I think there's some of that in there where it's
Hmm.
like, we maybe have like a time constraint or we want to get these people out of here and the risk of filming while there's this global pandemic going.
Yeah.
So I can understand that if some of the things were cut short
Hmm.
in the movie,
Well,
in the series.
there's supposedly an entire well, not really supposedly, it's pretty well documented, that there's an entire plot completely cut out of the show, that was
Oh,
entirely filmed before COVID, which was the pandemic storyline. That there was supposed to be that the Flag
oh,
Smashers
the virus, right?
were, yeah, or the Flag Smashers or somebody else, kind of sent off a what do you call it, a biochemical weapon, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, and that there was going to be this whole pandemic storyline in this show,
Yeah,
and they shot it and did
they
all that
they
stuff,
were
and then
like,
they had, yeah, and then they cut that whole thing out. So I think that's maybe at times why it feels a little more disjointed than we would be used to in the MCU.
mm-hmm.
Um, but that being said, I think we have to cut him a little bit of break with both this and WandaVision. We know that both this finale and the WandaVision finale were heavily affected by COVID. They've said
Mm-hmm.
that about both shows, that it affected the budget, it affected what they were able to do, it affected the time constraint, all that kind of stuff. Um, but overall, I think a great season. I'm excited to see where we go with these characters in the future. So without further ado, all these Planet Hero things are spoiler filled, but that was just kind of if you want our thoughts on the whole season without much spoilers. But let's go ahead and dive right into spoilers. So let's talk too that just yesterday, or today, I can't remember when it was, that there is now officially Captain America 4 in the
Mm-hmm.
works, with Anthony Mackie set to star, and the writer and showrunner returning to, I think, co-write the script for that
Mm-hmm.
movie. So what are your thoughts on that, and what are your thoughts altogether on like the suit? And let's just start, kind of dive into the episode.
Yeah, I think that's great to hear. I'm excited to see like what they come up with for the villain and everything, and to kind of expand more on Sam's story as Captain America, as well as getting. I would imagine you get more Isaiah in that movie. Um, I could be wrong. Maybe that's how you set up his nephew
Hmm.
as what's his Iron Patriot? Is that what it's called?
No, just Patriot.
Patriot. Um, So yeah, that's great. I love that. And yeah, I thought the suit was fucking sick. Like as soon as he like comes in this building with shield and because I thought like he wouldn't have the wings anymore. So I was like pleasantly surprised when he still
Oh,
had the
really?
wings. Yeah, I thought he'd like, but I guess that's kind of almost like he was Falcon, but he's not completely leaving that behind. He still has that, but he
Yeah.
just has the shield now in this whole new outfit, which again I thought was really sick. He clearly has like a different style as well. Like we'll
Hmm.
see it later in the episode, but when he like puts the wings down to like kind of anchor himself there,
Oh, that was
and then he
so
still has a
awesome.
shield, I thought that was sick. Um, but yeah, I love the suit. I thought it was sick.
Damn. Yeah, I mean, this suit is gore. I got it up on screen here. Hopefully, we don't get,
Hmm.
blocked again. But it's just a still picture, so hopefully not. But I love the look of the suit. Um I love the white, because that's something that people said a lot about. Some of Steve's suits was that,
Hmm.
Steve's version of Cap is almost entirely blue, with just red accents, and then the only part that's white is really like the white stripes. So
Hmm.
I like that this is more a full combination of the red, white, and blue. Um, I just really, really love the look of this suit, man. It is so freaking amazing. Um, Yeah, I just really I don't know, man. I think it's one of the best suits in the MCU for sure.
Is
Um,
that comic book accurate or no?
oh yeah, absolutely.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like almost like completely like ripped from the page. That's
Gotcha.
another thing too that I'll say is like I love you know how comic book accurate they're getting with the suits
Mm-hmm.
lately. So like you look at something like this, or then also John Walker, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen Kate Bishop in the Hawkeye pictures and stuff. Like, it's just crazy that they're really going full scale, like comic book accurate. Oh, Wanda, obviously, of course.
Mm-hmm.
I just like that we're finally breaking out of the mold of like like even you just look at Sam. Look at the evolution of his costumes. It started off
Right.
he was wearing a t-shirt and just the wings. You know what I mean? And then he got,
Yeah.
kind of like the chest plate thing, and then, red then he got Red Wing, then he got, a couple other things, until he finally got a very comic book accurate Falcon suit in this show.
Mm-hmm.
And then now that's replaced by a super comic book accurate cap, which I really really love. Like I think it looks a little bit weird with the goggles, like with the head thing coming up. Like I've seen people say that, like, yeah, I think it looks weird that his ears are out, but the ears are always a weird thing with all these comic book suits.
Yeah.
Everybody's ears are always like
Yeah.
weird because that's just a thing that doesn't really translate perfectly from
Mm-hmm.
page to screen. But that being said, even though it doesn't translate perfectly from page to screen, this is freaking amazing. Because you know what they did? They said, you know what? All right, maybe it doesn't transfer perfectly, but this is going to be the most comic book accurate suit ever in the MCU. Let's just go
Mm-hmm.
for it. And then we can always make a change later on. Like, to me, the only thing that I would change is the neck. Like, the neck like, there's just a lot of fabric going on in the neck. But
Right.
again, ears and neck is always like a weird thing because honestly, another amazing black superhero that we've gotten in the last couple years. He's unfortunately no longer on the show because of some drama stuff that happened with the production and stuff. But Keaney Lonsdale's Wally West. Wally West, his outfit is not his outfit, obviously, but his neck and head stuff is almost
Mm-hmm.
identical to this. Um, so he has like big hair, like or like tall hair, like he's got that style. So instead of having a full dome over his head, it just comes up to cover his eyes, like, and wraps
Oh,
around and then
interesting.
down
Yeah.
from there. And it was the exact same problem with Wally's costume as I'm seeing here. Like there was like too much going on in the neck, and it just
Mm-hmm.
kind of made the kind of goggle strip thing look weird. So to me, that's the only issue I have. Everything else, this suit is freaking bananas. Also, I love that
Mm-hmm.
he did not lose like Red Wing. Like Red Wing is still
Right.
there. Like they
Yeah.
kept he actually has two Red Wings now.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, that scene, man, where he does his own version of the I can do this all day thing where he gets the shield and then chinks down into the
Mm-hmm.
concrete with the wings. Like,
Yeah.
oh my god, what a great scene. Um, yeah, what are some things? What are just some things you want to talk about with the finale here? Because we're gonna keep it kind of short. And we're gonna keep it kind of loose. So what's
Um.
something for you that you really want to talk about?
What did you think of like the whole? Let's go like into like because we're just kind of gonna let's just kind of go in order for a little bit. So let's talk about like the whole chase scene with like the helicopter. So like basically they're like kidnapping all the senators. Is
Hmm.
that like the right term? Isn't it like the subject? So wouldn't it technically be like adult napping? Technically,
I
um,
guess maybe I'm
that's
not
what I've
sure.
always heard. I don't know if
Yeah.
that's true. Basically they're putting them all into these police kind of or they took a few in a helicopter and then two of them got into like these police vans.
Yeah.
Um, but they were like, were they also those are driven by the flag smashers, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Into the police vans into the helicopter. So basically we have like the police vans are on the ground and the
Hmm.
helicopter kind of Sam is kind of taking care of the helicopter and then the vans, I think it's Bucky and John Walker mostly taking care of
Yeah.
those. Who Walker kind of just I think the first time you
Well,
see
it's
him,
Bucky. Bucky is racing after that. Oh, I'm sorry. The Flag Smashers weren't driving because then they put the
that's
concrete barriers
clamps.
down. They put the
Yeah, yeah,
barriers
yeah.
down to get the drivers out.
Right,
So yeah, so Bucky's barreling after them on the motorcycle, and then when the
right,
trucks stop, that's when Walker shows up. That's what it
right.
is. Yeah.
And then Walker does his like he comes in, he goes Morgenthau, and it's like oh my gosh, let me get this guy out of here. What'd you
Yeah.
think about like that Walker fight with just the Flag Smashers in general?
I thought it was great. I liked so in terms of the actual fight, I really liked that. I I really liked that that they kind of try to redeem him a little bit in this episode.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Like they kind of cuz it was like I said in the very beginning, I was like you can't make this guy completely irredeemable. Like that's not
Hmm.
who US agent is supposed to be. He is Captain America with some screws loose. But he's not a villain. Like
Yeah, that's what
he
I've
has been
seen. Like,
sometimes in the comics, but he's
yeah,
basically just Cap like off the reservation, basically.
okay,
You know what I mean? Like, so you
gotcha.
can't make him an irredeemable killing monster. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so I like that he had the fight with the Flag Smashers, and I like that as simple a technique as it is. I like that you had the shot of Walker, and then you had kind of the POV shot. Flag Smashers save the people. Flag Smashers
Hmm.
save the people. He chooses to save the people because that, at the core of it, like John Walker wants to save lives. He wants to help people. He is just like a crazy person. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
because
Like,
I was never sure like if he was like a villain or something, but that makes more sense that he's kind of just crazy, but he's like he is Captain like he's like Steve, but he's just crazy.
yeah, no, exactly that.
Okay.
Yeah,
I was like, he has the suit still? I was like, they didn't take that from him. They just took the shield, or they wanted the shield back.
yeah, that's true. Yeah, I don't know.
But whatever.
Yeah.
That shield was piece of garbage. I was like, that looks like when
Hmm.
it fell on the ground at
Which is
the end.
what
I
we
was like, that
said.
looks like
We
piece
were
of
like,
rubber.
we
Yeah,
were like,
like
does he understand that this is just gonna like crack or like
right,
get
right.
crumpled in like it ends up? Like,
Yeah.
oh my god.
I liked the fighting and the combat. I liked again the whole like kind of looking back and forth between the Flag Smashers and the
Hmm.
people. Again, I wish that marking that he had, the what's it called? I don't know what like badge that is that he has
Oh,
on
the
his
Medal of
shield.
Honor.
I wish that would have had something to do with Lamar. Like
Hmm.
it just that would make more sense to me. I mean,
Yeah,
I get that he has to find his inner inspiration like from himself too, but
yeah.
like he still needs to find it from Lamar. Like, don't forget about him.
Hmm.
I know they bring him up in this episode at one point,
Yeah,
don't they?
because Carly goes like, I never meant to kill your friend. His life didn't
Right,
matter.
right.
And then Walker's like, you think his life didn't matter? Like, and then he
Yeah,
just
yeah,
like
yeah.
goes crazy.
Yeah, and then he goes crazy, he gets his ass beat.
Yeah.
Um, I did. I don't like sympathize with him, but like I am excited to like get more of him in the universe.
Hmm.
Because I think he can do some good maybe at some point, but I don't
Yeah.
think he will. I think he's gonna
Hmm.
kind of go down the road of getting things that he wants, but doing them in a means that isn't necessarily correct.
Yeah.
Um, the other like scene I want to talk about is the Falcon scene where Sam's kind of chasing the helicopter and everything.
Oh yeah.
Did you like that? Did you like the whole like he texts the
Yeah.
when he
Put
says
it
Red Wing, see if
put in
anybody
your
inside.
Apple AirPods so I can speak to you. Like,
Yeah, when he
um,
says see if anybody in there has flying experience, and then it's the one
yeah.
woman senator I think it is, and then
Hmm.
yeah,
Yeah, I really like that because I really enjoyed that because I thought, gosh, I can't even like speak right now. I really enjoyed that because I thought it showed the difference between him and Steve. You know what I mean?
hmm
That, it, and I don't mean like the personality difference. I mean the actual abilities and that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Like the actual
hmm
abilities and what their strong suits are. And I liked that. I liked that, and I love the fact that this episode just kicks right off we're right in it. You know what I mean? Like
Mm.
we're just in it. I was worried that it was going to be like, all right, we're doing this, and then it's going to be another build up of like, all
Right.
right, Bucky's on his way, but like Sam's going to get there first, and then they'll get together right at the end. It was like, no, we're here, we're
Yeah.
doing the op, it's
I
going
mean,
down.
we didn't talk about it, but we have Sharon showing up in the first 2 seconds. Like she's like in disguise. She's like, "Oh, here I am."
Yeah. Yeah,
It's
and
Bucky.
to me, it's like, what did you think about the whole thing with Sam being like, and Bucky, don't worry, I called in some backup, and then it's Sharon,
I
like
mean,
not
I'm
like
not really surprised. Who
War
was it gonna be?
Machine. Well, like I mean,
Uh
Rhodey was in this episode
when was he in the
or
episode?
in this series. I mean,
Series, yeah, he was in the
like,
first episode for like
yeah.
5 minutes.
Well, that's what I mean. I just mean, what were your thoughts? Because this was a big criticism of Agents of Shield and of the Netflix shows of like, why is all this stuff going on? And like, well, where's wouldn't Spider-Man have stopped Wilson Fisk in Daredevil? Like, wouldn't you
I
know
feel like
this?
you have to like there's a lot of give and take. Like
Yeah.
you can't have the characters everybody wants to see in every single thing.
Hmm.
Like if Don Cheadle were to show up, if War Machine were to show up, I would be surprised. Like
Yeah.
I expected it to be Sheridan just because she's already in the show.
Uh-huh.
Um and yeah, I just think there's like something there where you cannot have all these characters in everything because it just kind of
Yeah.
takes away from the gravitas of when they show up. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So
Yeah.
it means less almost.
Hmm.
Like you're not as excited.
Like, would you have been
Um,
excited if if Rhodey rocked up and he hits you with the boom, you looking for this, and then he just knocks out
yeah, I would
Carly,
have been
like
excited. I should say that I would have been excited, but
yeah.
I probably would have been like, oh,
There's a
okay, like
time and
that makes sense
place.
because there's a time and place
Yeah.
exactly. And this is something that I think that they can handle together,
Absolutely. That's the
right?
thing. Like
So
I watched a video about the episode, and they were like that's the other thing too about that is they didn't really need backup. There was three
right,
Captain America guys running around
yeah,
the place. Like you got John, Bucky, and
exactly.
Sam like running around the place. You got
Hmm.
Sharon backup. You got military backup. Like it wasn't really anything that Spider-Man could contribute anything more to.
Right,
Like and people were
right.
just saying Spider-Man because it's like it's in New York.
It's
And
in New
it's
York, yeah.
yeah, and it's like well also like, Peter he's out helping a homeless shelter or something. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
he's not Spider-Man 24/7. He's probably asleep. I don't know.
Hmm.
But yeah, to me I just think that lends again to the whole thing of like people that ragged on saying, the Netflix shows aren't canon or Agents of Shield
Hmm.
aren't canon because well, why wouldn't the Netflix shows especially people always say, well, why wouldn't the Avengers show up? They're right down the street. They're
Hmm.
not because it's not happening to that. It's just not on their
Yeah.
radar. It's the same thing in and now I want those people who said that are like that looked down on the Netflix shows and stuff. Look at this show. This
Hmm.
is the this is the people from the movies, and Spider-Man ain't swinging in to be like, "Hey, is everything okay?" Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Hmm.
that's just how this universe has to operate because it's so big and expansive. Like you said,
Hmm.
like you can't have people just popping in every single time that there's something going on. It's like,
Right.
and also look at the movies. Like, did you see Iron Man? Did Tony Stark rock up when he was like, "Oh shit, what's going on at the Triskelion with these three helicarriers and Winter Soldier?" Like Tony didn't
Hmm.
just like show up. Like these movies, they the issues and the finale pieces and the third act fights and stuff. They have to be handled by the heroes that the show or movie is about. Like
Right.
that's the whole point. Like so just I know that was kind of a tangent, but just the whole thing of people saying like like well where were the Avengers, why didn't they come to back him up and stuff, and it's like you you don't need it. Like
Yeah,
you
you
don't
don't
need
need
it
it.
at
Yeah.
all. That's just my thoughts on that.
Yeah.
So you want to talk?
So
Oh yeah, go ahead.
kind of moving on. What did you think of the whole? So like when they're kind of fighting and John Walker gets into like the police truck or whatever and he's driving it. Or no, I'm sorry, Carly gets into it and she starts driving. She moves like those what do you call them out of the way?
The
The
barricade things.
the barricades out of the way. She drives it. and she's kind of driving it towards this like construction like pit basically, and she like jumps out and it gets stuck on the railings, and then it's like above Bucky because he's down there because he was thrown down there. I think he was thrown down there, or he jumped down there, and then he started fighting Flag Smashers down there. And then we get John Walker kind of trying to save the truck, and then he gets attacked by Flag Smashers, and we have Sam hop in and save it. What did you think of that whole like kind of scene there?
I thought it was great. I think the main standout to me in that scene was this is the scene, and then especially later on when we get to the speech. But in action terms, in actionable terms, this was the scene where John Walker realized Sam Wilson is Captain America. Like this to me, this scene was John Walker realizing, okay, yeah, I can't compete with that. You know what I mean? Like that kind of thing. I think that's, and then it was I thought also in more of a plot sense, I thought it was a great way to get to get the three of them back together again, because it was kind of John Walker was fighting people up there, Bucky was fighting people down here, Sam was off with the helicopters. Now finally this truck is able to get all three of them together so that they can start fighting and doing that stuff on the ground, which I loved. I just loved the action in this, and I loved the beats that I just loved the action beats in this. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
it was just really really good.
I love the whole like I said, I love the whole shield when the shield flies down and it's like it looks like a piece of garbage.
Yeah, it's like crumbled.
And when John Walker's trying to pull the thing, he's got it too. Like he's pulling it back, and then he gets attacked. Obviously,
yeah.
He falls and to where Bucky is. But yeah, I love seeing all Sam's got it, but he doesn't quite have it, so he needs to use Red
He needs all the boosts,
to boost it up. I loved all that. But yeah, I agree with you. I thought it was a great way to kind of bring the three of them together. Do you like that? Like, I mean, obviously he was. I guess actually this is a dumb question, but like when Bucky like helps John Walker up, like do you like it, this episode kind of created like a like John Walker is like they're cool with him. Like did you like that or no? Because like he did just murder that guy. Like
I didn't take it as they were cool with him, because I think it was like a reluctant like, all right, he's here to help, we got to use him,
so we have to work.
Because there was like the moment where John Walker and I like this moment of John Walker because that is like U.S. Agent from the comics to me when he quotes Lincoln, and he's like, oh, I got you now. The needs of the what, you know what I mean? like that kind of thing. Like, and Bucky's like, Lincoln, really? And Walker's like, yeah, one of our best presidents. He's like, Bucky's like, not when you say it. Like, I thought that was so funny. And then there was another scene where Sam, whether he's walking with Sam. Oh yeah. When they're walking in the tunnels or in the scaffolding or whatever, and Walker's like, all right, I got this way, and Sam kind of goes, and Bucky's like, I got it.
Yeah,
like, you know what I mean? That kind of it's like you can tell that it's like it's still not cool with him, but it's just like, all right, he's trying to help, he's trying to be a little bit better. Like we just gotta use him, that kind of thing. But I was okay with it, but I wasn't expecting it. At first I was kind of like, how are they just like cool with him? But then when the episode ended and stuff, I was like, okay, it's not that they're cool with him, it's just they needed his help because he was there, and he's a super soldier on their side. They need all the help they can get, kind of thing.
Right. Yeah, I agree with that. So we're kind of getting to the scene where, like you said, where they're running through like the scaffolding underground type thing. Kind of Bucky and Sam and John Walker are chasing Carly and the other Flag Smashers, and Carly rolls up, and we have Sharon coming out of behind some boxes with gun drawn, and this is basically the reveal that Sharon is the power broker.
What?
And then when this happened, I immediately said, "Fuck!" Like, oh my lord.
You were not happy with this reveal,
even though the show was literally screaming at you
that she was the power broker.
That she was the power broker. we have, like I said, like I think it's the third episode. We have her being driven away in the car. We have her
Hmm.
walking by all these big security guys. Just like stuff like that. Um, but yeah, here the reveal of her Sharon as power broker. I don't know. That's not what I wanted for this character.
Hmm.
Um, I would have been more happy. Like we'll see at the end. It's post credit where she kind of gets her job back and everything. Um, I would have more liked her to become a member of Sword, like at her maybe previous position, maybe work with I guess not Hayward, but like if maybe work with
Like Monica or whoever,
Monica,
or
yeah, or
Jimmy,
something like
whatever
that.
Jimmy's doing.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I would love that.
Hmm.
Um, but this, she's kind of up to something nefarious that we don't really
Hmm.
know.
All right. Do
So
you
yeah,
want
what
my
are your
theory?
what were your thoughts? Yeah, what's your
Okay.
theory?
So my thoughts on it, I'm very much the same as you. I was like, like you said, it was screaming at you that she's the power
Yeah,
broker. It was like
yeah.
Sharon Carter is the power. Hey,
Uh-huh.
hey, like you know what I mean? Like it was really beating you over the head with it, especially towards the end. I mean, she literally hires Batroc and is like, yeah, you can kill the Falcon, whatever you want to do. Like you know what I mean? Like, um, but but I was disappointed with it because, like you said, like we've gotten so little time with this character to now
Hmm.
have her back, and then immediately switch allegiances and stuff like that. I was kind of like, all right, like I didn't want to see it go that route. I was hoping that like somebody like Ross would be the power broker, but even still, then I think that leaves room for Ross to not be a flat out villain, yet,
Hmm.
depending on whatever they want to do with that. But all right, you ready for my theory here?
Okay.
I think the next time we see Sharon will be in Secret Invasion, and I think she is a Skrull because it's very out of character.
Whoa.
That's what I think. I think that I think that
That'd be interesting.
this is what I think. Are you ready? I think Secret Invasion, they are going to say that when the Skrulls invaded was during the blip. When the Skrulls replaced
Okay.
people, I think they used the chaos of the blip to do that.
To
So
integrate themselves.
yes, exactly. So that is what I am thinking. That's what I'm thinking is going to is going to happen.
Interesting. That's a
Is
good
that
take. I
she's a
like
Skrull
that.
because it's so out of character. She's like at the in the end credit scene. She's like, so we can sell all the government secrets and weapons we want, and
Yeah.
it's like, you're the one that told Alexander Pierce, like, what are you gonna do? Go and arrest Captain America? You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
you're the one that like stood up against like Sitwell and all those people in Winter Soldier. Like, you are that is not just a person scorned by the military industrial complex, which I've seen a lot of people say like it's just another one of those things where it's another Marvel villain who got screwed over by the military or the government or whatever, whatever. That's not just that. That is like a deep um character change. Like that is a
Right.
180. And I get that we haven't seen her technically in universe. We haven't seen her for 8 years. So I know that 8 years can obviously change somebody a lot. But still, that is like crazy
So
to me.
if that's the truth, where do you think the other Sharon would be?
Well, that's the thing. I don't know. I think that's where Secret Invasion comes in. Is that, are we going to go the route where the Skrulls took over these people and then killed them, or are they holding them somewhere? That's,
Right.
I think, where what it's going to
Yeah,
come
so like
down
something
to.
like that, like if you were to see her cast in that show, I think that'd be a very, very
Big
like
giveaway.
solid,
Yeah,
solid prediction.
yeah.
Yeah, like who did I text you the other day after I read like I haven't read like the Marvel like Unlimited thing in a while, but I read
Oh, you
like the
said somebody.
prologue or
You were like,
prologue.
I think this person after reading that.
Yeah, because it was literally
Um,
that's who it was, and I was like, oh shit, like
can't
but yeah,
remember.
same with you. Like I can hop on that theory. Does that show was what next year
Oh, you think
supposed to be?
Val? You think Julia Louis Dreyfus?
Oh yeah, again, that's another possibility. I'm
Mm-hmm.
starting to think no on that one, but
Yeah.
that was she was just
Mm-hmm.
kind of she showed up in the comics, so I was like
Yeah.
okay, um, but yeah, so Secret Invasion was 2022.
Yeah. Yeah. Early
Oh yeah,
2022 because they're about to start filming it.
yeah. So I think like if she's cast, and I don't know, I would like put money on that that she is. If I see her like in the cast list for the show.
Mhm.
Oh man, that'd be okay. That'd be a way. Who do you think she's talking to on the phone? Well, I guess we're kind of skipping ahead, but
That's okay.
it's the same character. It's the same
Yeah.
character. Who do you think she's talking to on the phone then?
I
After she's
assume
leaving like that hearing or whatever.
I assume that she was like talking to the like the woman that she was with, like in the car. I don't know, like I don't really know,
Yeah.
like maybe somebody. I thought when she was going on the phone, I was like, all right, this is it, we're gonna get a shot of Thunderbolt Ross just being like, let's begin, like, or something like,
Yeah.
something like that. um but we didn't get any of that, so I don't know. I think it's maybe left open to interpretation for it.
Yeah, I thought maybe they might do a thing where it's like she's not actually like she's not the boss. Like there's somebody
Yeah.
above her.
Or they could do what's in the comics where there's more than one power broker.
There's more
that
than
it's like
one power
it's like a
broker,
team
right,
of people. Yeah.
Yeah.
That I could see happening.
Yeah. Oh man, I just hope I hope she does something cool. Like I do hope that it turns out that it is a scroll. That'd be cool. That my mind would be blown with that
Mhm.
one.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's just like I said in the past episodes. Like that's just not what I wanted for this character. Even though
Yeah.
Marvel was like, she's the power broker. Like
Yeah.
hello. So, but again, this could be like you said. She could very well be a scroll, and this is them like supporting our expectations, and they're like, "Psych, gotcha."
Psych.
Um, but then we have like same like scene. Basically, we have like Carly and what's the guy's name again?
Dovich.
Dovich and Sharon kind of standing off one another, and then I think Sharon shoots Dovich, and then Carly shoots Sharon.
Oh no, sorry. That's Batroc. Sorry, I didn't know you were
sorry.
talking. Yeah.
My bad. Is that what it is? Is that the order?
Yeah, I think it's Sharon shoots him to shut him up, and then Carly shoots Sharon. And then Sharon kills Carly.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, she like. Oh yeah.
She shoots her like
damn.
3 or 4 times.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then
And
if I was Sam, I would be like asking a few more questions of other than just being like at the end of the episode when Sharon's like, "Sorry about what happened down there. Things got hairy." Like, what?
Yeah.
You shot her.
I did think there was
like you shot her point blank. Like,
yeah, I did think there was a moment where Sharon was gonna die, and I was, maybe not. Which I think would have been like that would have been crazy. But and then we have like the other flag smashers kind of running out down this kind of side of the building, and Bucky and John Walker apparently have this app track that they're using. I don't know if that did that ever come up earlier.
Yeah, that's the app that the Flag Smashers have been using.
Oh, right. With the
with the hands and stuff, like the AR thing,
right.
and then
from like the first episode, and then
and then last episode when she like activates them all
activated
or whatever.
them. Yeah, that was weird. But then we have like Carly and Sam kind of battling it out with. I think this is where we get the whole like him standing his ground with like the wings and everything.
Oh yeah.
And then it looks like Carly's about to shoot Sam, and then Sharon comes out and shoots her, 3 times. So what'd you think about this scene?
I thought it was like it was kind of crazy because I was like it. I don't know. I just the more I think about it, like the more the whole Sharon is power broker thing, I'm just like, all right, like did we really have to go that route? But I thought it was a little bit of like a disservice to Carly's character, I thought, just because I as I said, on Couple Planet Heroes, I didn't think that Carly was going to make it out of this season, but I thought maybe it was going to be like a noble sacrifice, like realizing that, what she was fighting for was a great cause, but the way she was doing it was wrong, and then, does something to take herself out, but then calls off the Flag Smashers or something. But we didn't really get that. We just kind of got, her and Sam again were about to maybe have like a breakthrough, and then she just gets killed. And it's like, all right, well, I would have liked to see a little more interaction with those two people. You know what I mean? I would
Yeah.
have liked to seen a little more play with Sam and Carly.
Right. I mean, I think if Carly doesn't die, I think she probably maybe tells Sam that Sharon
Yeah.
is the power broker.
Hmm.
I could be wrong, but yeah, I agree. I saw some people like, because I had watched this like late, like I didn't watch it. I didn't stay up, and then I didn't watch it the morning on Friday. I'd watched it like late Friday, and I saw some people saying that they like a lot of people weren't like, not majority, but like I saw people not being like satisfied with like the finale, and I think like the power broker, the flag smash was one of those sticking points where
Hmm.
like maybe they had too much story or something like that, like they didn't like maybe how it ended. um and I can kind of get that, like maybe you wanted a little bit more than that, but again I think that whole COVID thing like plays into it. Like
Yeah.
I'm sure that whole pandemic storyline type thing with them
Had a
releasing this
lot more to do
virus
with them. Yeah.
had a lot more with Carly and the Flag Smashers as a whole.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, I don't know. I do kind of wish maybe like they did have that breakthrough, but then again, like I said, like I think she tells Sam and Bucky that Sharon's power broker, so it's
Yeah.
like
And it's
maybe you
like
kind of have to kill her.
You can't have that reveal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
Um, but yeah, I mean, I thought it was a good scene overall. It
Hmm.
just there's just some things that went down a different way than I would have wanted. But that's the thing though, is it's not about how what we wanted. It's about what happens in the show, and that's the thing
Hmm.
that everybody needs to get with the program about, that we've
Understand?
been
Yeah.
dealing with since Last Jedi. Like, it's not about your expectations, it's about what you watch, and it's like, just don't go into it with these big crazy things
Hmm.
um another thing. Okay, let's talk about this too. Were you sad at all to not see Steve? Did you expect to see
No,
Steve?
I was not expecting to see him.
Okay.
They did ask. Did they ask that? Didn't they ask that question in an episode?
What?
Didn't they like bring him up like once, like asking where he was or something, or is that not?
Well, in the very first episode, and then he was like, there everybody was like, everybody says that he's on the moon. And then
Oh,
and then
right, right. And then we get that.
Torres
We
is
get
like,
that.
"Where are you going?" And Sam's like, "I got to do moon stuff."
Yeah,
Whoa.
and then we get the guy in this episode. He goes, "I'm Captain." I thought he was on the moon.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
This guy earlier in the episode said. But no, I was not expecting to see him.
Hmm.
Like I said, I think if that is true, that whole like Chris Evans was like, when everybody's like, "Oh, Chris Evans is returning," and he was like, "It's news to me. Like I don't know what you're
Hmm.
talking about." And then Kevin
I
Feige
still
doubling down on that.
actually am a little more team BS on that. Now that I know that Captain America 4 is in
Yeah,
production,
but
but pe- people are reporting that the Chris Evans project is different than the Captain America 4.
yeah, see, like my thing is like you like this to bring him into this. I think that takes away from both Sam and Bucky's
Oh,
story in the show.
absolutely. Yeah.
So why would you do that? You're
Hmm.
undercutting your characters.
I would actually
Um,
like to see him show up in something that is like random. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
Sam and Bucky aren't the only two people that know that
exactly. Yeah,
Steve is back. Bruce
right,
was in that scene. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
Bruce
Yeah,
knows that he's back. Like, and I'm sure they didn't keep it
yeah,
a secret amongst the Avengers.
yeah.
You know what I
I
mean?
think
Like,
that like this goes like this is the same thing as that ridiculous billboard that was on Twitter
oh yeah.
of like bring Tony Stark
Hmm.
back to. It's like no, it's like if you're gonna bring him back, like Danielle asked me yesterday. She's like, "Oh, I was like, would you want him to come?" I was like, "No," and I was like, "If he does come back, do it like 10, 15 years from now.
Hmm.
Like, don't do it like
You talking about
literally how like
Tony?
yeah,
Yeah.
like
Are you
just
talking
can we
about
like
Robert
move?
Downey Jr. showing back up again, or Tony Stark coming back from the dead? Because those are two different things to me.
Oh, I was just kind of I assume they meant bringing Robert Downey Jr. back as Tony Stark.
Okay.
Isn't that what that billboard meant
Well,
or no?
that says bring Tony back to life. the
Well,
billboard
that
says.
also
Yeah.
like that
To
billboard made
me,
no sense.
to me
Like the
that
grammar sucked.
yeah, to me that should absolutely never happen. I don't think Tony Stark should
No,
ever come back to life
no,
ever.
I would agree. Like if
I
you
I
want
would
Robert
agree
Downey
with
Jr.
you.
in like a Stan Lee type like cameo type thing, that's cool. Like okay, cool.
Or like the only thing people have said is like an AI in like
Right,
Ironheart or Armor
right,
Wars or something like that. Just like at which probably would be a substantial role, but as long
right.
as he is an AI representation, not even if he's just a voice, you know what I mean? Like, but not Tony. Like Tony is done. He's dead.
Right.
He
Yeah.
should never ever come back.
Yeah.
Um,
And you're just
Flashbacks,
like
I guess that would be okay, but then you're getting into murky territory.
and
Should never come back.
you're just undercutting those characters that you're trying to build. Like that would
Yeah.
completely undercut War Machine in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Like cuz I'm reading I've started reading like West Coast Avengers or actually I finished like the first like I think it's like the first 5 comics. And it's like he is Iron Man and nobody knows that.
Yeah.
Like in the first few comics, they're like they think it's Tony in there, and it's really not,
Mhm.
and he's like thinking to himself. And they find out, that
Yeah.
it's not Tony in here. So
Mhm.
I just think like that whole thing, like bringing it back to life and everything, that would just like, it would just what's he gonna do? Go back to being War Machine? Like,
Yeah, exactly. Like that.
like that doesn't make any sense.
Gosh, I hadn't even thought about that. That, what if Rhodey just becomes Iron Man
Yeah, I
in the
mean,
MCU?
I mean, if they're doing West Coast Avengers, wouldn't they? I'm assuming there's different West Coast Avengers, but
Yeah, no, yeah. I just didn't even cross my mind because War Machine has been his own hero for like the entirety of the MCU.
right.
So it didn't even cross my mind that he would change. But yeah, I mean, I guess.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I mean, so is Falcon.
No, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I just didn't even think about that with Rhodey, I guess.
Mhm.
But yeah, I guess if Armor Wars, obviously we know Armor Wars is going to be Rhodey's, show. Like that's going to be
Mhm.
all about Rhodey. I would love to see Armor Wars end with him becoming Iron Man. That would be
Right.
awesome.
Fine with
Because
me.
Far From Home was correct. Happy was right. The world needs another Iron Man. It's not Peter Parker. It's going to be Rhodey, if anybody.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like, but yeah, I think overall, it's very good. Oh, what did you think about the Isaiah in the museum thing? Which is exactly what my prediction was.
Oh,
by
wait.
the way. Oh, what?
We're
What did I
on
skip? What
the
did I
speech
skip?
part. We gotta talk about the speech.
Oh, crap. Go.
We're not
Sorry.
even close to the end of that. Well, I mean, we're kind of close, but
Yeah.
so what did you think? What did you think about the entire? When he brings Carly down from
Mhm.
wherever they are, and puts her on the gurney. He's talking to the senators, and they're basically, he's like, "Are you gonna go forward with this, and that?" And they're like, "Yep, we're still going. Do it. We're gonna." I think they might say they're gonna expedite it. Like we're gonna put it to the top of the
Mhm.
list, even though we're about to vote on it. What do you think about him? Like, kind of, I don't want to say going off, but kind of putting them in their place almost.
Yeah.
And then we have I think Isaiah's one, which
Mhm.
I thought was great.
Yeah.
What'd you think of that scene?
I thought it was incredible. I thought it was fantastic that he kind of, like you say, he kind of puts them in their place where he's like, are you still going forward with moving all the refugees, with deporting them basically? And they're like, absolutely, yeah, we're gonna get right on it, like Cap, like that, like they're like, yeah, we're gonna do our duty. Like they think that he's like on board, and he's like, no.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, you're deporting all these people because of what? And then the senators are like, well, what about people who, who came back and to different people in their family home? What about them? And it's like, well, it's not that's like what Sam's trying to say, is that basically Sam is trying to say at the heart of it, everyone is people. It's your job to figure it out. Like you're not going to push this on me as Captain America. You're not going to blame it on who, I love that they call Carly and the Flag Smashers terrorists, and Sam's like, that, why are you saying that word? Like it means nothing. They're not terrorists. They, like, look at their movement. Look at how much support they got behind their movement. This whole thing. And Sam basically tells him, you can't just you are the politicians, you are the people in charge. Like I love that he says to the one lady, he's like, you control the banks, you could feed 1 million people with an email, you could do this, you could do that, like you could build housing with a phone call, like and I love, because that is to me something that quintessentially Steve, Bucky, Sam, whoever the Captain America is at the time would say, is like, I am a superhero to come in and save people when things are going bad. You are the government. You need to save people all the time. You
All the
need to be
time,
doing
yeah.
this correctly. And you're not doing it correctly. You're not even doing your job. You're just signing a bill to deport all these people to make it somebody else's problem. You're
Right.
the one failing. Like, I love
Right.
that. It's like, and he didn't do it in a way, and also he didn't do it in a way of like, I know better than you. He was like,
Right.
damn right, it's a complicated issue. I don't know everything. You
Yeah.
don't know everything. But
Yeah.
it's your job.
But it's your
to
job. We put
find
you
the
in place
best.
to take
Yes,
care of this
exactly. It's
stuff.
your
Yeah,
job to
like,
find the best way
and I think it's
forward.
something that like everybody like wants to say, but
Yeah.
obviously they don't have like the play.
And
I
I gotta
love
say,
when
props to Marvel, props to Disney Marvel for saying it. I mean, we've
Yeah.
been saying this whole show, we've been like, oh, they're doing Isaiah Bradley. Oh,
Yeah.
when the cops pulled them over and is like, is this guy bothering you? Like, oh, they're
Yeah.
leaning into it. You know, you see Black Lives Matter all over the place, like in the Baltimore scenes, like,
And
and then this.
when Sam is like, you know, he's like, you know, every day's a struggle, and you know, now you know how it feels, you know, basically.
Yeah,
To be
exactly.
like every day is, you know, a struggle, and you know, I've been dealing with this while, you know, carrying the stars and stripes on, you know, and he's kind of going to the whole thing, and you know, I just thought it was like an amazing, and I'm glad it lasted as long as it did, because
Yeah,
it
it
was
was
like
like
a good
8
5
minutes.
minutes, 6 minute.
I think it was
thing.
8 minutes.
Oh,
It
8
was a
minutes? Yeah,
long
I was
time,
just happy
yeah.
with the whole dialogue thing.
Yeah.
Um,
And I loved, like
and
you
then-
said, that Isaiah was watching it.
yeah. And yeah, I don't know. This scene just like made me really happy. Like I was just, and it was something that like, again, not that I hate like comparing like Sam to like Steve and everything, but it seems like something that like Steve would say if he was in that position.
Yeah.
But Sam kind of, you know, takes his own experiences and puts his spin on it.
Because you know what it is? It's not something that Steve would say. It's something that Captain America would say.
Captain, yeah,
And that's who it is now.
yeah,
That's what I love about this episode. And then you get, you know, jumping forward a little bit, we're going to talk about Isaiah in a second, then kind of wrap up. But jumping forward a little bit to the end card, it says Captain America and the Winter Soldier.
See, that's the thing with the end card is though people are saying that they should stop with the Winter Soldier thing because he's kind of outgrown that.
Yeah, well, the problem is that was my first thought as well. Is I was like, well, but he didn't get a new name, and like White Wolf's not his like superhero
Just
name.
call him Bucky.
Well, that
Why?
he's got to
What's
have
wrong
like
with
a
that?
superhero name though.
Oh my God, no, he doesn't. Just
Well, what do they
him
call?
Bucky.
Who do they call? What hero do they call by their first
But
name?
they don't call him Winter Soldier either. They don't say Winter Soldier. They say Bucky.
Well, yeah. I mean, they call him like Sergeant Barnes.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, the other thing with me,
What would
the
you
other
name
thing
Bucky?
with that is,
What would you name him
what did I name
as a
him?
superhero name? Yeah.
Iron Arm. I don't know. What's his arm made out of?
Oh my God.
But like my thing
His
is
arm's
like,
made of vibranium.
vibranium.
remember?
So vibranium arm. I don't know.
Vibro Man. No, that's I don't
no,
know
but the thing is like that's the other thing is like, do people now like, do they know what a Winter Soldier is? You know.
I think I don't.
So exactly like what?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just like a small thing that I saw people talking about on Twitter, which I was like, oh yeah, I guess that makes sense. But yeah, like you said, like this scene was fantastic. It was probably maybe the best scene in the entire show.
Oh yeah, I
one
think
of the
so.
best
Yeah,
scenes.
definitely.
So
And
what's next?
so next we could talk about let's talk about Isaiah first. and the whole museum thing, and then we'll talk about the little Fast and Furious family barbecue, and then we'll close out. So what were your thoughts on? I have to say, I got to give myself props on this one. This is exactly what my theory was. Was that Sam would do this and would come out as Captain America, and then would make sure that Isaiah's story was put as a little aside in the museum. So what were your thoughts on this? What were your thoughts on the pretty emotional scene of when he brings them to the museum and tells them no one will ever, your story will never ever be forgotten ever again. Like, what were your thoughts on this whole thing? And
I was
emotion?
like, I almost started tearing up. Like, this was so like, heartwarming and everything. Like, and I didn't like expect like anything to be like, I don't know if like maybe you expected something, or like I didn't expect for like there to be like this big like news thing where like he like walks out and it's like, this is Isaiah, and and Sam or somebody gives like his whole background story. Because I feel like that's not like, I feel like he almost wants to, I feel like Isaiah maybe wants to remain, kind of
hidden,
but he wants his story to be known. And I think this is the perfect way to do it, is you have this monument basically. Basically it's him, and I don't know, like I don't think did he ever, what like division was he in?
I think just the army, I think.
The
right?
army? Yeah, like him like kind of standing there, and then it's kind of hold right up on like another thing next to his like statue. I thought that was like amazing, and I'm hoping we get again more of him in like either movies or shows.
I gotta say,
but yeah,
myself, I don't think he'll be back. I think this was
really
a bow on it. Yeah, I think if he's gonna be back in anything, it would be maybe like the Young Avengers, like for Eli, because we didn't really. Well, I shouldn't say I don't think he'll be back. Yeah, I think he might. Yeah, actually, I think now that I'm saying it out loud, I think he might be back just because Eli, we really almost got nothing from him.
Yeah.
Like we got like there was not even a hint, not even a wink and a nod to him becoming Patriot, anything. So I think maybe both Isaiah and Eli might be in Captain America 4.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
That would make sense to me. But yeah, like I said, I think that was just like a heartwarming. I thought was great, and I'm glad it was in there. Real quick, just to backtrack, I just want to talk about real quick. John Walker kind of getting his new suit. Julia Louis-Dreyfus. What did you think about that whole thing?
I love that scene. I love when he goes, it's the same, but black. Like, he's like so like pumped about it. And then I did like it because it's like, it goes to show that like he has moments where he is like a crazy person, but then he has moments where he's just like, you can tell genuinely, when he's alone with his wife after Val leaves, he's like, I'm back. Like he's like so happy about it. I'm a little surprised that it didn't end with him going to prison. But I guess this would make more sense for why he is the leader of the Thunderbolts. It's kind of like he's going to be like the Rick Flag to the Suicide Squad, where it's like he's the guy coming in that's like, all right, you got to wrangle all these people, together, kind of thing.
Now, so like, are there like people that are like John Walker and or U.S. Agent and Zemo are like, they're villains, but like I don't know, like I don't know how to like classify them. Like there's people that like kill to kill and just like stuff like that. Like, are there people mixed in like with that in the Thunderbolts, or is it all an amalgamation of people that are like,
it's kind of like mostly
kind of good,
anti-heroes,
but like they're kind of like cracked?
Yeah, it's mostly anti-heroes. Let me just look up. Hang on, Thunderbolts like roster. Let me see who's been on it. Yeah, so people like Baron Zemo, Taskmaster, Fixer, Songbird, Atlas. Like, there's a lot of different people who have been on it. Like, so like Goliath, for an example. So that's well, that's actually that's a different person, but like somebody like maybe like Bill Foster, like
Hmm.
Lawrence Fishburne from Ant-Man and the Wasp, like maybe like in the comics something like that. He doesn't really match up with being a bad guy in this, but like definitely like Zemo here. Let's see here. Yeah, it's like a lot of like bad people mixed in. Like Bullseye is on here,
Hmm.
from Daredevil, Venom, Ant
Oh
Man,
wow,
and
Venom.
the Eric O'Grady Ant Man, who is kind of a anti-hero. He's kind of more of a douchebag than an anti-hero. Um, and then somebody who is a mainstay on the team is Florence Pugh's character of
Oh,
when she becomes Black Widow. She is a big member of the Thunderbolts and the Secret Avengers. Um, and then like Crossbones, Juggernaut, like it's a lot of these kind of anti-heroes, but more leaning towards like bad people. Like Deadpool's been on the
I'm the
Thunderbolts, like
Juggernaut,
that kind of thing.
bitch.
Yeah, exactly. But if I had to guess the MCU version, I would say you're probably gonna get Florence Pugh, John Walker,
Zemo.
Zemo. Uh, Maybe if they really wanted to go crazy with it, they could bring the Punisher in. You could bring John Bernthal
That'd
in,
be
like
dope.
that would be
Yeah,
awesome. Um, yeah, like you would probably get like a lot of those type of people. So it's kind of a
gotcha.
very specific set, but it's whatever.
That's cool. And then
Yeah,
the last scene, the other scene I want to talk about was Bucky kind of going to
the little
I forget his name.
family barbecue.
No,
Oh no no
the
no yes
older
yes
Asian
yes
man.
yes. Oh man, yeah,
That
we
was like
definitely gotta talk
heartbreaking to
about
me.
that.
I was like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how he's gonna like explain
Mm-hmm.
this. And he did it very simplistically. Like he didn't
Yeah
go into the whole like, I was brainwashed this whole thing. Like, I killed your son, and he was like, why? And he was like, because I had to. I was like, oh,
yeah.
god
And it
damn
was
it.
like I had no choice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um. But yeah, I love that scene, and I like that they didn't dwell on it too much. They were just like,
Hmm.
"All right, listen." They were like, "Bucky knew," because the thing is that the friendship that they had there was not a friendship that should last or should even happen, because that
Right.
was just a friendship to ease Bucky's mind and do nothing for Yuri. You know what I mean? So that's what I liked about Bucky. Just told him, and Bucky just knew. He was like, we're not gonna be like friends anymore. You know what I mean? Like, because he just told him, and then he just bounced because he
Yeah.
was like, I gotta go because there's nothing else that I can tell you that is gonna make you feel better. There's no more information that I can give you. None of that. So I really liked it, but it was very emotional.
Ugh. Yeah, it was tough. And
Yeah.
then when he's walking by like the restaurant and he sees the girl he was kind of like on the day with
Mm-hmm.
him, and he just, I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh man, that was rough. But then he gives the book back to the therapist, and he says, "Thank you for all your help." So
Yeah.
that was nice.
I like that we kind of got to like revisit everybody one last time.
Yeah.
Like we got Val and Walker and all that.
Mm.
Like we got Zemo, you know, being happy that his butler, took out the
Hmm.
last of the Flag Smashers. Um, but so I like that even from within the raft, and I like that we actually got to see the raft. That we actually saw it,
Yeah.
and I like that they were like the Flag Smashers are being like the news was like the Flag Smashers are being taken into custody to be put at the raft. Like
I thought that was so funny.
I like that the raft is becoming a bigger thing in the
Hmm.
MCU because it's such a big thing in the comics. That's where everybody goes. That's where they
Hmm.
throw everybody. You know what I mean?
Which
Like
everybody was like, Zemo probably should have been there in the first place, but now he's there. So
yeah, exactly. Especially
and that
because
was
Civil War
sorry.
was the place that we saw the raft. Like
Right.
it was in the same
The other
movie.
thing was the whole like I heard you kind of touched on it, but when the remaining Flag Smashers are loaded into the police car, and the one guy says, one world, one people, and then it shows it blowing up, and it's Zemo's butler in a car from like
Yeah.
who like I said, I had no idea that was his butler. I was like, who the
Hmm.
fuck is that guy? Um, and then when it shows, like you said, like on the radio, like, oh, they were being transported, they all died, and Zemo goes, like he's like,
Yeah,
I can
like
finally
it's like
rest. Like
kicking back.
I thought that was funny.
Yeah,
So that was a nice little thing.
I thought that was great. And then yeah, we end with a nice, beautiful, like nice, happy kind
A
of little barbecue action going on. I love the fact I saw this on an Instagram post, but I'm gonna bring it up here because I like the symbolism of it, even if it wasn't intentional, but I'm sure it
Mhm.
was intentional. I like the fact that at the beginning of the season, what does Bucky look like? He's wearing long leather jackets with leather gloves covering his hand and stuff. And then in the very end here, he's wearing a t-shirt with the arm out.
Mhm.
He's got the kids hanging off of his
Talking to
arm, like
Sam's sister.
talking up Sarah, he's doing all this stuff. Like, I just love the symbolism, just of the simple stuff of Bucky's clothes being different, of like, he's just so
Right.
much more open, and he's smiling, and he's like, I love when he's like running around with the cake and stuff, and he's
Mhm.
got like the little sunglasses on, like he's feeling himself, you know what I mean? And good for
Yeah.
him. He's been tortured for almost 100 years straight,
Yeah.
like nonstop. Like, I just love this scene, and I love the ending with just the two of them kind of looking off, kind of Star Wars style, just the two of them kind of looking off into the sunset, and then that's it. I
Mhm.
really really enjoyed the ending. What did you think of the overall ending?
Yeah, great. I thought the same thing. Like, I love the whole like freaking barbecue type style ending. Same thing like with the whole dress with Bucky. I thought that was a nice little change
Hmm.
up. Um, and yeah, I just I thought it was a great ending to a very good series. That you know I'm ready for the next one.
Yeah. So now obviously people said, uh, we've had talk of like Falcon and Winter Soldier season 2. Um, do you think we're ever gonna get that, or do you think it's just gonna be Captain America 4?
Um,
Because what would be the point of
I don't
doing the show
know.
again if they have their own movie?
Yeah, like I said, like if you're gonna do like I think I said the same thing about WandaVision.
Hmm.
You would have to have some story that has to be told in a show style format
Yeah.
where because like I said with now this doesn't have the trope or whatever it's called of like the whole reality show thing like WandaVision. Like I
Yeah.
said, like if you were to do that again, like that'd be like I wouldn't even touch that again.
Hmm.
But if you have a story that needs a show format that you need to expand on and everything without fitting it into a 2 hour movie, I would do it.
Hmm. Yeah. I think same. Now let me ask you, before we close out here, just one more question for you.
Yeah.
In Captain America 4, do you think Bucky is in that movie, or do you think it's just going to be a
Um,
Sam movie?
I don't know because I feel like he would be because these two
Hmm.
characters are so tied to each other. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like, um,
yeah, because
I'm gonna say yeah.
we've never had a
I'm gonna say
Captain America
yes.
movie without Bucky in it.
I'm gonna say yes because I don't think they give the Bucky character his own movie.
Yeah, true.
So I would
I
say
think
yes.
yeah, same. So yeah, let us know, what did you guys think. Oh, let's give an overall star rating on the season as a whole. Um,
Um,
what would you say out of 5?
overall, I'd say 4.5.
Same. I would go exactly
Yeah,
that. I would do
I think there's a few
4.5.
things they just didn't stick the landing on. Like,
Hmm.
but other than that, like I thought a great series, and Marvel is definitely I think far and away 2 for 2 on the series TV so
Oh,
far.
absolutely,
So
yeah.
I'm excited to see how Loki shakes out.
Yeah, and we should do a little bit of housekeeping too. So we are going to kind of change it up a little bit with the secondary shows with Planet Hero and Planet Council. So we're going to try and get more people involved in them. And we've just been noticing with our schedule, it's hard to do these Saturday live streams all the time. So what we're going to try and do, starting with the Bad Batch, which is next week, 2 weeks. 2 weeks, like a week and a
So
half.
wait, when does What If come out?
And that's not until like the end of that's not until like July, I think.
Oh, so there is like a 2 month gap with no MCU stuff or whatever, like a month or so, whatever.
Yeah, like a month. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. All right.
Hmm. Yeah. So we're gonna try and do the Planet Hero and Planet Council videos as a little bit shorter format for you guys, so that we can get the reviews out quicker. So that once we have Loki and Bad Batch going at the same time, we can review both of them, and not have it be 3 hours that we have to dedicate to doing both of those reviews every week on top of the live show. But the Planet Film live show will not be going anywhere. That will always be Tuesdays 8 p.m. Live. But yeah, so let us know what you guys thought. Join us. We're gonna have a little bit of a break here on these extra shows until the Bad Batch starts. So we're gonna have like 1 week with nothing here. So let us know, what did you guys think of the finale and the entire season of Falcon and Winter Soldier. As always, I'm one of your hosts, Sean Monk. You can follow me at Paste Eating Yak on Twitter and on Instagram.
And I'm your other host, TJ Cornwell. You can find me at TJ_Cornwell on Twitter and Instagram. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Let us know what you thought of the episode and series as a whole. And we will catch you next time.
Boom, boom.